All right, I got another lick for you. We're going to stay in E again. It sounds like this. One more time. And just like I said, every lick is meant to be modified. I mean, for instance, I'm starting it with, you could do that a shorter amount of time. You could do it a longer amount of time. You could hold that and just go right to the root, or you know, it's all meant to be varied and added into your vocabulary. So here's what I'm doing. I'm right there in that minor pentatonic scale, and I'm covering the 12th fret of the high E and the B. Those are both covered right there. I got my pick, and I'm going to go to the 15th fret of the high E and pick it one time, and then pull it off. And as my buddy Justin says, it's a flick off. I call it a pull off. So we're pulling the finger off, and we got to have this pressed down so we hear that note right there just by pulling it off. Okay? And then I hit the B string, and I'm going to do an up pick. So it's a down pick and then an up pick on that B. That way I can play it nice and fast and efficient. And you want to practice that really slow, nice and slow, and then gradually speed it up. And try and get it to where you're at the point where you can't play it, you know, the point of speed where you actually are messing it up. You know, try and get it past what you can comfortably do, then bring it back down to a tempo that you can do. And notice I'm using my pinky there. You could use your ring finger. I use my pinky. I'm always comfortable doing that when it's that distance. But then we're going to replace it after we're finished doing. Then I put my ring finger there on the 15th fret of the high E. And I'm bending it up a whole step to that pitch. So check it out. Really slow. So I hold that up, and then I'm going to do a little, you know, a little exciting little. So I'm, and then letting it come down and hitting the natural note. And then finally releasing to the 12th fret on the high E from here. So look, even though I'm bending right here, you can see when I'm bending that note, my index finger is actually on the 13th fret. But when I finally want to hear that note, so watch that, because you don't want, right? It doesn't sound right. We want. Okay, so here it is again. All right, so add that one in the mix, and I got even more coming your way. All right, that's the next lick. I'm sure it sounds semi-familiar. I've tweaked it a little bit, but it's definitely in that range, in that inspired by Hendrix vibe. we're going to go like this, same scale, but now we're going to be working on that B bend up to the root, which Hendrix used in every solo. So we're going to do a, which we kind of did on the high E on the lick before. Well, you can do it on the B string. So we're doing 2 of those where we bend up, and then we pick it again when it goes back to natural. And if you're having problems getting your bends to sound good, you always want to reference the pitches with your ear on what that note is. Okay, so we're doing that on the 15th fret of the B string right there. Then we're going to the 14th fret on the G string with our ring finger there, and we're bending that up. And then we're getting to the 12th fret of the B string. Check it out. So pay attention that this is the 15th fret, but when we go over the G string, it's the 14th fret. Okay, so we're right here on the 12th fret of the B string. Then we're going to go do a little move like this. So we're going to the 12th fret of the high E. Then we're doing a pull off from the 15 to the 12 on the B string. See that? Now we're doing one note that's outside of the minor pentatonic. We're going to call that the 9. That note is the 9. We did it with the chords. It's also in the licks sometimes. So we've got that, and we're going to pull that off. So that would look like this. Finally, we go to the B string on the 15th fret again. So here it is so far from the beginning. So as soon as we hit the 15th fret of the B string right there, and I'm using my pinky, then I can use my ring finger to go to the 14th fret on the G string. And then I got to get my middle finger and index behind it because I'm going to give it a nice raunchy bend, 14th fret G string. Here it is from the top. So the last little phrase sounds like this. So I'm hitting this, which is the 12th fret of the G. Then I'm going back to that whole step, 14th fret, bending that up really quick. And then without hearing it go back down, I'm releasing to the 12th fret on the G. Okay, here it is from the top, real slow. so add that one. You should be building up that vocabulary now. It should be blowing minds and melting faces. So hang tight, and I'm going to blow your mind even more with the next lick. Hang tight.